We want to bring you more reaction now to the news that President Obama is nominating former Ohio Attorney General Richard Cordray, not Elizabeth Warren, to run the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Key business groups like the Chamber of Commerce have opposed the Bureau's creation, also pushed against naming Warren to run it. So what does the Chamber think of Cordray, who has been helping Warren set up the Bureau? David Hirschmann joins me from Washington. He's the president of the Chamber's Center for Capital Markets Competitiveness. Welcome to InBusiness. David, you opposed Warren and the Bureau itself. Do you believe that Cordray is a compromised candidate here? Any happier with him?
Well, for us, it's never really about the individual. We believe every nominee should get a fair and thorough hearing in the Senate. The real issue here is that in setting this agency up, Congress puts so much power in the hands of one single individual, and we don't have any answers yet, a year after the signing of the law, about how this new agency will work. So on the shoulders of this nomination goes Congress's once every 5 years chance to ask some basic questions about how this agency will work. After they confirm somebody, they can hold hearings and send cards and letters, but they've given up all their usual checks and balances powers.
Well, it's a new agency, so they're sort of figuring out how it's going to function as they create it. What is your prime complaint here? You want a commission rather than just a director in charge?
Yeah, we think that as a general rule, regulators who don't swing politically hard left, hard right, as the political winds shift in Washington is a good thing. Checks and balances are a good thing. Everybody benefits. Consumers will benefit. Businesses, the regulator benefit. And hopefully we can get some basic answers to the questions we've been asking for 3 years. How will this new agency work? Who will it regulate? This was sold as a one-stop shopping center for Consumer Protection Center, but in fact, what we discovered is all the existing alphabet soup of regulators will still do consumer protection at the federal level. It specifically empowers the 51 state AGs, the state attorneys general, to also enforce consumer rules. So we would just want to know, how is this going to work? Who's going to be in charge of what?
Well, what would make you support it?
What would make us support is to put some basic checks and balances back in place that work so well at all the other consumer regulators and all the other regulators.
Rather than a single director?
That could be a commission. That could be a commission. It could be putting this agency back in the appropriations process in Congress. It could be any number one of things. We've suggested 5. But this agency uniquely has all the powers concentrated in one director. This is the only job in an agency that's $500 million and well over 1,500 employees confirmed by the Senate. That's really unique, even by Washington standards, to put that much power in an unaccountable single individual. Do
you think that the SEC inhibits the financial industry, inhibits business?
Look, business's number one goal with regulation is some level of certainty, always. Business benefits from effective regulation. We've called for improving the SEC. We want the consumer regulators to work well. But the reality is, in the rush to pass Dodd-Frank, there was more of a rush to get the right headline, which is we've created the most independent regulator ever, rather than to rush really answer the basic questions about how this is going to work. We've got too many regulators. Everybody agrees on that.
Right.
There's no plan on how to make them work well together. We know regulators that we already had weren't working particularly well. There's no plan to fix them. So these are some basic issues. The reason that these questions are being asked around this particular nomination is, in this case, it's the only shot Congress has. Congress gave up all its other checks and balances. They even exempted this agency from having to check with other regulators to see if the rules they pass conflict in law with other regulations that have been passed.
What are you going to do if the president makes a recess appointment and bypasses a hearing?
Well, I think it'll be very controversial in the Senate if the president does that, but we will continue to push for some answers to the same basic questions. How is this going to work? Who's in and who's out? How do you avoid restricting the types of credit that small businesses need to create jobs? How do you make sure that consumers have choice, well-informed choices? To the degree they're doing that, look, the beef here really isn't about whether we need to do consumer protection better. We would argue that that's one of the many ways regulation failed. The question is, how do we do this right in a way that allows honest market participants to sell into the market without being second-guessed after the fact?
All right. Well, thanks for giving us your perspective, that of the business community as well there. And we are expecting the president to make that official announcement later today.